Hi, guys.
Okay.
Hey.
Welcome to our podcast.
Oh yeah, we're podcasting. I forget. Okay. Yeah, just totally.
Interactives, you may God. I mean, Chewy.
That's fine. G-Bay, Chewy, whatever. So, yeah, welcome to the We Play Games podcast, where we play games and forget that we're on a podcast. So, it wasn't that funny, jeez.
No, I just got...
Oh, you're supposed to appear offline.
Right?
In America lately. But America. I just call it Ameriqua because I'm an Eminem fan. Yeah. Anywho, we might be a little late on the bandwagon here, but there's been a lot of things going on in football. So,
Yeah.
I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. There was Mr. President Trump has decided that it's very unpatriotic that people are kneeling at football games during the national anthem, and has taken it as a he hasn't come out and said this. I'm not trying to put words into his mouth, but it seems like he's taking it a little bit as a personal attack.
Oh, yeah.
Which is interesting.
He takes everything as a personal attack.
Oh, of course. He doesn't take too much, though, because he can't fit it in his tiny little hands. But he's taken this. Oh God, I'm dead. He seems to have taken this very personally, and I have a few theories about this. Feel free to interrupt me or chime in on this, because this all happened right at the same time as... Jeez, what is going on? Right at the same time as... I'm scatterbrained all over the place. The repeal of Obamacare for the third time was about to go through, and the general consensus was it's not going to work. So, which honestly, I don't know if that would have been big news to begin with.
Well, I think there's other things too. I can't remember what they were, but I think, like, of course, right now the Facebook Russia thing. Mm-hmm. That's really big.
Oh yeah, Zuckerberg's in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, I read somewhere that it was found that there was 5,000 different Russian accounts buying political
at least.
ads during the campaign.
There's probably more.
Oh, I'm sorry if you're watching this, if you're not just listening, because I suck.
Come to the starting area. There's a public event going on. I thought you were with me.
Okay, I couldn't. It moved. I couldn't find it. Okay.
Well, yeah, we went to a place where the enemies were at a high level. But anyway, yeah, like this whole administration has just felt like they're just one distraction from the next.
Oh yeah, it totally is.
From seeing what we're supposed to be seeing.
The thing that makes me mad, though, I mean, it upsets me whenever people try to distract from the serious issues, of course, but even more upsetting than that are people that actually let that happen. I know I have people in my family who are like, I'm not going to watch the game this Sunday or this Monday night or whatever. It's like, I'm not watching the game, and I'm like, Grandma, you've never watched the game. You've never watched football.
You don't even know the rules.
Why? Yeah. Why does it? What? So, yeah. I mean, it's just.
They're just sheep.
And another thing is, with peaceful protests. I mean, I had a discussion with someone on the way to Voodoo last year. We were carpooling with some people, and we were talking about this because it was still a topic last year. People kneeling during the national anthem at football games, which tells you that, hey, this isn't a new issue.
Right now, this has been going on for a while.
For a long time.
But it's only been 10 or so of them before Donald Trump had to open his mouth, and now it's over 250.
Right. And but that's the thing is, like, we were talking about this, and I was saying I mean, you can disagree with someone all day long, but if you believe in the freedom of speech, then as long as someone's not harming you or harming anyone, you have to continue to let them do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
You cannot stop them. Like, there's nothing you can do. You can discuss and debate them and try and counterpoint them, but you cannot do anything to try and stop them. And I think that's what a big problem with Antifa is like, I heard of Antifa for the first time a while back, and then I looked them up online, I read about them, and then I was like, hey, this actually sounds kind of cool. Like, that makes sense, anti-fascist, awesome, whatever.
Yeah,
but then the more I read about them and found out what they've actually done, the more I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to associate myself with that, right?
Well, they're basically...
Yeah, it's the reaction to an extreme group, which is extreme,
exactly, yeah.
right? And no extreme is ever good, nearly. So I'm just dying over and over again.
We might want to go to Titan because there will be easier enemies there.
Yeah, we'll go after this. But like let's talk about like the Nazi protest, right? The thing that was going on with the tiki torches and all that stuff. If nothing happened, if things were not escalated and people weren't hit with cars and people weren't fighting in the streets and
die.
Yeah, no one died or anything like that, we couldn't do anything about that. I'm sorry. We couldn't do anything about that. Like, it's their right as Americans to have really dumb ideas,
Mm-hmm.
Like, no matter how much you disagree with them.
What really kills me about it is that Donald Trump is so against these protesters, but the protesters in Charlottesville had good people in them.
Oh, yeah. The way he conducts things is very strange. For someone in such a position of power, he has no control over his mouth whatsoever. Unless, I mean, he's either doing one of two things. He's either just kind of a bad person and is really bad at hiding it, or he's still a bad person, but he knows exactly what he's doing. Well, I can't decide which it is.
I think there's some, because he's about 70 years old at this point. I honestly do think there's some form of dementia happening.
You think so?
It's just like, he just says some of the dumbest stuff that, even a grandparent, you would be like, oh, maybe
that's
we
not
should
right.
go to the hospital and get you checked out or something. Like, he says, racist stuff, or he says like horrible stuff. He goes back and forth on what he believes a lot. And yeah, that's political talk, but he was supposed to be the most unpolitical president ever, but yet he flip-flops the most, it feels like.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I didn't mean it to become...
find out that they're hiding, that they know that he has mental illness.
I didn't mean for it to become a political podcast, but hey, here we are, so let's do this.
Fuck Donald Trump.
No. What I was gonna say though is it's very strange to me, this mentality that's coming from Trump supporters, which is the mentality that like oh, these darn liberals, they destroy property and they cause havoc and they destroy shops, and the people that they're angry against don't pay. It ends up being Joe Blow, local business owner, that ends up paying the price. That they're so stupid, blah blah blah. But then whenever someone stands up at the end of Hamilton and it's like, hey, don't screw us over, right. Then they get all upset about it, and then someone like kneels during the national anthem and they're like, hey, don't do that, and like there's like it's so weird because it's like there is bad people on the left, don't get me wrong, there's bad people.
Oh, yeah.
In any big group of people there's going to be bad eggs, of course, but it's just strange to me that like they're like they just don't know how to protest peacefully, and then when people protest peacefully, they're like, "How disrespectful of you!"
It's completely hypocritical, but it's also, I don't think that's even a smidgen of what it's about. I don't think it's.
What's that they have to deal with seeing that other people have problems, and they don't want to deal with it. They just want to pretend that life is good for everybody because it's good for them.
Yeah, it's unwillingness to see through someone else's eyes, and also distraction. I completely believe this is a distraction ploy.
Oh yeah.
I don't believe that anyone really gives a flippin'
Fart?
like booger shit. Like
Booger shit.
I don't think anyone gives a flippin' booger shit about. I mean, I've been to several football games in my life because of band and all that crap, and I did not see very many people actually paying attention during the anthem. And this is just a small sample. Like, I get it. Like,
The worst national anthem I've ever seen.
oh my
was
god!
at this
local racetrack
that we went to. It was so bad.
They
Did I
had
talk
some-
about this last time?
I don't remember you telling me this.
Okay, so I work at a radio station, and sometimes I have to do remotes, which is like they pay us to come out to a thing, and we go, hey, blah blah blah, point blah here, and we're out here. Come out and see us. There's a race going on. We're enjoying the race. Come out, say hi. You know, we got some free stuff for you. Blah blah blah. And so we go out there to do this, and they're doing go-kart races that night, and it was just these tiny little carts, like what you would find in like a go-kart at a rec center. Like just the way it was held was really strange. There was barely anyone there, and some guy came up to me and was like, well, it looks like they got a good turnout today, didn't they? And I'm like,
There was like 5 people.
This is a good turnout. It's like,
There
oh
were
my
literally
gosh.
maybe 5 people in the crowd.
And then
Not joking.
The whole dang town's here.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, they were doing the national anthem, which was over their loudspeakers, but their loudspeakers were playing like a country station, and they didn't know how to turn it off.
So it was playing over
It was
this
playing
cheesy-
over the national anthem, which it wasn't even like a good national anthem. It was one of those like, barrel, darrel, 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 like really countrified national anthem.
Oh,
And
so, yeah, I know what
and
you
then
mean.
on top of that, it was playing like some song, not even like a good country song, just
Yeah.
like a girl get in my truck and hand me a beer. Like it's playing this over the national anthem.
And it kept cutting out, so you
Yeah,
could
it kept
only
cutting in
hear
and out.
you could only hear the country song sometimes.
It was so
And everybody
bad.
is
Cringy.
and the 5 people there were standing with their hand over their heart, like kind of giggling.
And it happened over the prayer too. Like he kept cutting out
yeah.
during the prayer. So like he would be doing the prayer, and then he'd be like, he would cut out,
Dear
and he'd be
Lord.
like, "Dear Lord, let us come together and watch for the safety of our drivers this evening, Lord." And it testing, test 1 2. Test 1 2 test 1 2.
Girl.
Okay, we're good. Okay, we're good. Lord, back to what I was saying, Lord. Like, it was so weird.
It was so bad. We left immediately.
I was like, if I was listening to the radio and I heard myself, like, if I was listening to the radio and I heard me on the radio and I was just in my car and I heard someone going like, "Oh, come on out here and enjoy the race with us," and all this other stuff, and I'd be like, you know what? I haven't been to a racetrack in a long time, or maybe I've never been to a racetrack. Maybe it's like, yeah, let's do something crazy. Let's just go do what this guy says. Let's go enjoy a race today. Like that might be fun. Try something new. And you get out there and it's like, Talladega, like it's cutting out.
These 3
And
little
these-
go-karts.
There's like 5 people out there in the go-kart things, and then they started racing, and it was so boring.
Yeah.
Like it was like 3 little kids in their go-karts, and
They were like a mile apart.
I was
too,
like, I would have found me, and I would have punched me in the face. Oh man,
Oh my god.
it was a good story though. It was funny. Luckily, Chelsea Face came out and joined me, which made it better.
Yeah,
Made it more
it was
fun.
hilarious.
It
Like,
was.
I'm sure it probably would have gotten a little bit better if we'd stayed, but
Yeah.
I was not about to sit there for 4 hours and watch.
No, I don't blame
Meow.
Like they weren't even close to like passing each other or
Yeah,
anything.
there was no tension.
It was just like obviously one go-kart was really fast and one was a little slower and one was a little slower than that. It was just really
And they had
bad.
spent so much money advertising it too. Like I've seen the advertisement for that particular race for weeks.
Oh man.
And that's all that happened.
Oh man. I can't find any public events.
Well, I was gonna say we don't have all of Earth unlocked. I was an idiot. We should have just gone to Titan.
Okay, let's go Titan.
Yeah, because we have to beat the story to get everything unlocked. I forgot.
Okie dokie. Titan. Attack. Let's attack it.
Oh
Let's
no, don't attack the Titan.
Attack the Titan. I like Titan better. I just know that you enjoy, or Titan's your least favorite, so I decided not to go there.
I don't know. Like, Io is my favorite, but Titan's probably my least favorite. But I don't hate it by any means. It's still fun. I wish we could go to the Solarium or whatever it was called, where there's all those like trees and
Yeah,
everything
I
going
like
on.
that. Yeah, that's one of my favorite places on there, and we don't ever really get to go there, which is
If a DLC opens that up, then Titan will definitely jump above Earth in my favorite planets list.
so. I want to talk to you about something that I know that you are a expert in.
What's that?
And that is Destiny lore.
I knew it had to be do that or like Pokemon or Star Wars lore.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, guys, so if you're listening, our friend Cadmium here has a huge boner
For lore.
for lore, especially in things that are so deep that no one has the time to dig into them. And I personally think that's awesome. Like, I wish I could know the lore of all these things. Like, it's impressive to me. But the guys make fun of him for it.
Oh, I make so much fun because I wouldn't make fun of him if he wasn't like, "How do you not know that?" But it's like a thing that's like in one grimoire card that's like you had to have like dug it out. Grimoire card number 12,682, and it's like line 5 of paragraph 3, and it's like, how could you not have known that?
They need books. Do they have books?
I think a comic series would do Destiny great.
It would do good too.
Something, yeah, like a little extra
Because
something.
Halo had books upon books.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Books
if they had
stacks.
a comic or a book or something, or even like a monthly, I don't know, newsletter or something. Just
Newsletter.
something, you know what I mean? Like
They kind of do have a weekly newsletter,
Like
but
something-
it's not about lore. It's
yeah,
about
something that comes out episodically. That way, people would be like, "Oh, have you read the new thing?" Instead of being like, "Here, go find it."
Yeah,
'Cause that's
well,
not-
the thing is Destiny 1 had all those Grimoire cards, right?
Yeah.
And you get the Grimoire cards, and then you go to Bungie.net and you look it up and you find the lore in those cards.
Yeah.
I don't think that was the best way to dispel
No.
lore. Of course, I don't think anyone would disagree with me on that. But I don't think the way that they took it into Destiny 2 really fixed it completely. Because now there's like nothing at all. Same way with you. If they could have just put a tab or something in the... Never went to... I might have... I got the app specifically so I could read the Grimoire cards. And even then...
Oh yeah, me too.
I do it enough. Is it just not responding at all?
Yeah, it's working.
Tab that you can do on them, so at least they kept some kind of Grimoire thing. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah. I just found that the other day though. Like, I wish they could have told us that.
I wish they would tell. Yeah, just like, hey, you know, when you're on your thing, press L2. Look at what you can read.
Yeah. But nope, just leave it. Oh, I can't go in there. Crap. Yeah, I know what you mean. But that being said, everyone acts like Destiny 2 is like this masterpiece of storytelling. And
No, it
it's not. It's
doesn't do anything
way
wrong.
better than Destiny 1.
Yeah,
But that being said, it's Halo 3, which is a great game, but it's not
but it
like
feels like a lesser
anything new.
version of Halo 3.
Right. I think most people would agree that you don't play Destiny for the story.
Oh yeah, I mean you play it for the end game.
Yeah, oh yeah. Like you just play it to get to the end so that you can which I mean I still enjoy it while I'm playing the
story's nice.
campaign, but it's not
Play
buy
the
it.
campaign.
There's no way I'd buy it day one.
No. I mean, there's nothing to this if it's just campaign, you know?
Yeah, oh yeah. But that being said, I actually had a bit of an emotional reaction to the campaign in this game, which is weird because I had like absolutely no emotional reaction to the first game at all. Like nothing in it. Nothing in it.
There were no stakes in the first game.
Yeah, there's nothing going on, and which is kind of weird because
Make sure you're grabbing these art things, by the way.
Oh yeah, get out of my way. Which is kind of weird because I enjoyed the first one, but I didn't really like. There's nothing in the story that stands out that much to me, or that I had any sort of like emotional reaction to.
You didn't have any. There was nothing to attach you to the first story at all.
But that being said, I don't think I would have had as strong of an emotional reaction to the second game's story if I would have never played the first one.
Oh yeah.
Because
Destiny kind of embraced its memehood, in my opinion.
It's memehood.
Yeah, because like they really embraced the Cade 6 side of the player base.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I wish
all
they
the
would.
ads are geared towards to that kind of player base, which is what we are.
I really wish
But
they
what's
would
fun?
do more on the other characters, maybe in the future games.
yeah.
Because
Well,
people, of
before
course,
Destiny 2
love Cade 6, but, if you're not a hunter, like, maybe you want to know more about the Titan.
Being lore master again. Before Destiny 2 came out, they actually did a whole trailer thing about Zavala and him like putting up the walls to the city back in the day.
Oh really?
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, so you should.
Oh yeah,
check
yeah,
that
yeah.
out.
I saw that. I expected that to be in the game because it was so
Right.
pretty. Like it looked like it was just like an opening cinematic for the game. And he had like.
We haven't really gotten anything on Ikora yet.
Yeah, like, I want to know more about them.
I think
I'm
you-
about characters. I like to know.
I think you saw that Chelsea face. 'Cause
I don't remember that.
I think we watched it. Wasn't it during E3 or was it before E3? I can't remember.
No, it was after E3, I think.
Oh, okay.
Well, either way, I still think there's not enough character development. But, if they put that in future games, I'm okay.
Well,
I think that if
next-
they're gonna be putting favorites on Cade, which I love Cade, but they need to
Well, it's not
kind of
gonna kill you. Of
do,
course, you love him,
yeah, like they need to do a little bit of the other ones too, like maybe in the DLC.
and he's a warlock, so that's gonna give us a lot of stuff to do with Ikora, I think.
Okay,
Probably.
that'd be cool because it's such a much more personal game. Like you're more involved with the actual characters. They're not just like pieces.
Right.
Like they're actual things now, so it's good to get a little bit of, hey, I'm a character.
Right.
This is
I get you.
This is why I'm here.
This is why I'm hot. I'm hot because I'm fly. You ain't because you not.
'Cause you-
This is
But, I
why.
mean, even in the beginning of Destiny 1, even Cade wasn't a character.
Yeah,
Like he was.
but he did
but
have
he
character.
wasn't-
Do you know what sparked Cade's entire character? Like people's interest in Cade 6?
Because of what he says.
Hey,
He
Billy.
stands
Well,
there.
he said one line that really sparked people's interest, and it was back whenever they stood around that big table,
yeah.
and he would whisper it, and people like caught it. He would look at you, he would look at your character, and he would whisper, "Take me with you."
Because you wanted to go back out there.
Yeah, he wanted to be out on the front lines, and that kind of sparked everyone's interest in him.
Yeah, see, like, little things like that are what make games like this great. Because, the story, like you said, isn't usually wonderful. The writing's pretty bad.
And the fact that the developers embraced the fan base, like
Yeah.
in future, there were future Grimoire cards, or later Grimoire cards, where they talked about people who were just hanging out in the tower would be like, it's strange how the Guardians would dance on the tables and stuff like that. And Raoul, like there's a Grimoire card where they talk about Guardians like sliding into Raoul because everyone did that. Like you
Yeah,
would,
I remember that.
so like it's just funny how they kind of take what players
The
do,
community's
and then they
doing.
work it into the actual
Yeah.
world of the game, which is
That's awesome.
pretty cool.
And
I wonder if they'll ever work in that Guardians hate Raoul on some degree, because the player base, at least on Reddit, is always salty at him for giving them bad engrams.
Well, that went away after Taken King. Like, they were salty because they would come up there with a legendary engram, and then they would decrypt it, and he would give them a rare. But
Right, I remember that.
But then after, that's why everybody hated him.
That like if that hadn't happened, I feel like people would have been like, okay, you know, it's the 5th time I got an exotic in a row, and it's the same one, but at least this is an exotic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, I remember those days of getting a legendary and a blue dropping instead.
Oh gosh, that was terrible.
That was some salt-inducing stuff.
I do like that they base their world upon what the community gives them, kind of.
Do you think? Okay, let's keep on this topic then, since we're doing so well with it. Destiny 2 has kind of a loot-based system, right?
Mm-hmm.
Loot-based games.
That's the whole reason to play.
Yeah, loot-based games like Overwatch, a lot of free-to-play game models.
Overwatch is a little different, though.
I mean, yeah, but I'm just using them any type of game that is loot-based, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like you have an engram or a loot box or like whatever, and it drops, and there's always that little bit of like gambler's rush, right? Whenever you get something that's like,
Right.
maybe this one will be really good,
You
or
spend
whatever.
hours working for
Yeah.
it, hoping to get something
Right.
good.
And that's kind of how a lot of games, like even fighting games, Injustice 2 just came out, and it's a loot-based system, right? Every time you fight, you have a chance to get better loot, which I think in a fighting game breaks it.
Yeah.
I like
I thought
Injustice
that was
2.
really weird.
I enjoy Injustice 2, but that game is broken. Like,
They
the
should've
online
gone
is
with-
just straight up broken. Like,
They should have gone with Overwatch's version of loot boxes, where it's only
Aesthetic?
cosmetic items.
yeah, definitely. If it would have just been aesthetic, I would have been completely fine. I would have been really happy about that. Like, that's really cool. You can really customize your characters or whatnot. And if they could have customized them based off of, like, versions of them in different comic books or whatever, like, if you could unlock a full set of, like, the Killing Joker or something, like, that would have been really cool, you know? But it's all based on equipment that can, like, up your strength and defense and all this other stuff, which just throws balancing out the window when it comes to a fighting game. In any case, my question for you two is this model, this loot-based video game model that we have. Do you think it's good or bad for the video game industry?
Ooh, man, see, and this was a question that I was thinking of bringing onto the show eventually, and I've been trying to answer it myself. And the answer is we're gonna have to wait to see, in my opinion, what the developers do with it. Because in some ways it can be good. Like Battlefront 2 is gonna be an example I'm gonna use here. They're doing free DLC like Titanfall, but
Right.
you pay for the cosmetic items, and that
Right.
kind of pays for the DLC itself. And I think that's a good step forward on stuff like that.
Right.
Where, you know, cosmetics are bought, and, you know, we all get paid, or what used to be paid DLC for free, and it doesn't splinter to the player base anymore.
Right.
But if we start going into loot boxes like what's that new Lord of the Rings game where you can buy
the Shadow
loot
of
box
War.
stuff?
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, and where you can buy it and it affects your stats and your character. That is different, and that's going down the wrong path.
It's pay to win.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't like that at all. Destiny 2, I was really scared whenever they upped the ante with their Eververse system here. I was really scared at first, but you know what? I actually don't mind it because it's all aesthetic.
I don't see it move it.
I don't really think there's anything you can get from Eververse that's not aesthetic. It's just, you know.
Yeah, nothing that. Yeah, or if it's like it might be an exotic ship or sparrow,
But that's not going to affect your gameplay.
Yeah.
It's just going to be.
Exactly.
It's just going to be an ooh-ah
Yeah,
factor.
a lot of people think that it's just a testing the water on microtransactions and stuff.
Yeah,
I'm scared of
and I'm
that.
afraid that
I mean, that's a chance, but I think this community is so serious about this game. Like, they've gotten their audience so serious that if they actually did go too far, everyone would just literally boycott the game.
Oh, yeah.
I really do
Reddit
think that would
would-
happen.
Yeah,
Insane.
I would definitely boycott it if they started charging for if they changed it in any way to be pay to win. I would boycott.
Yeah,
it.
because I mean, you can handle DLC. Like, it's an MMO, so they're going to constantly going to be working on it, working on the servers, working on the new stuff. So that's understandable, paying for new content after the game's already out, because they're still working.
It
on
blows
it.
my mind that this game isn't subscription based.
Yeah,
Like it really does.
we would probably still pay
Where'd
it.
you go today?
I'm going to the other public event that's on the other side.
I can't see it. Is it on Siren's Watch?
Yeah.
Nothing pops up on my map
Oh.
because I haven't done anything here yet.
Okay. Yeah. Well, just follow
I don't
me.
want to interrupt.
No, you're fine. Well, it's kind of interesting because apparently it works because here you and I are talking about Destiny and just riding its dick, but but on the other side of that, one of my favorite experiences that kind of brings me back to a time before DLC and like a time before like loot based games, which is interesting because it's a loot based game, but its single player is entirely not. And that is Titanfall 2. Like,
Oh, yeah.
playing Titanfall 2's campaign just reminded me of like a PS2 game so much. And I say that in the best way possible because it was just like, it wasn't about like getting gear or, the drive to the next thing or whatever. It was just like a really well made campaign, It wasn't like
the campaign didn't have anything to do with online and like the time travel bit.
Yeah. Like it was just all
It
its
was
own
just
little
the
thing.
story.
That game just got screwed over.
Yeah.
It was such a good
They
game.
screwed itself over because
Yeah.
they released it in between Call of Duty and then Battlefield 1, which they own as well.
Yeah. I hate that too because it could have been a big one. It could have been like top 5, I feel like.
Call of Duty makes me so mad because they just, at this point, they're just stealing other people's ideas.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this competitive multiplayer shooter comes out and they're running on walls and have jetpacks. Let's put that in our game. Oh, this other game's going back to World War II. Fuck you, we're going to do World War II. It's just so infuriating.
And
like,
people will still pay for it.
oh yeah.
All you can do is just not buy it. Like,
I
that's
will
all you
say
can
that they
do.
have zombies, and I don't like.
That their online is all they've got.
In an online multiplayer, they're the only ones that have zombies, I think.
Why don't they
if
just
I'm not mistaken.
why don't they just turn that into like an MMO, kind of like Destiny?
What do you
they
mean?
could figure it
Well, I
out.
mean,
What,
I
zombies?
feel like
No, they're the whole game, like the whole franchise, because the stories are always getting more ridiculous. Like, why don't
I
they?
don't know
I
if
don't
it
know,
needs
I
that.
don't feel like it really fits MMO, and Ubisoft kind of tried to do a Destiny real world, like kind of a game like Destiny with the Division, and it just flops.
It flops so
yeah.
hard. This is why, though. With Destiny, I don't know about the entire player base of Destiny, but for me, my thing's aesthetics. Like, if I don't enjoy looking at a game, I don't want to play it. And it doesn't have to be like super great graphics or whatever. It can be pixel art or whatever for I care. But
Yeah, but it
but the
needs to look
concepts and the look of it needs to be interesting and appealing to look at. The Division was ugly. Like
There
it
was
was just
nothing
like,
fun to
oh,
look
look, you grinded for 20 hours and you get this green beanie instead of your gray beanie. It's like, who cares?
Yeah, the aesthetic items weren't pretty. Like
It just
it was like a homeless guy winning homeless dollars, buying more homeless clothes.
Yeah, it was
like,
really weird. I didn't understand what they
and
were going
it was
for.
broken. Like, everybody who played it said it was broken.
Oh, it was bullet sponges, but I mean, Destiny has bullet sponges too. But
yeah,
at
but
least,
it was literally hard to play because of how broken it was. Not just
and I mean,
you know.
like, Destiny is, it's got its classes. It's kind of like someone described it one time as Pokemon with guns, and I think that's a fantastic description.
I don't think so.
I do, because it's like you get a gun, right? And then you, at least in the first game, in this game you get the gun and it's fully upgraded. But in Destiny 1, you'd get a gun, you would train your gun, right, to make it stronger, and then it would have a type, right? So it'd either be solar or void or arc, and then you can use that gun in different situations to have a better chance of winning, right?
But you don't evolve your gun.
No, you don't evolve.
Well, some of the guns did evolve.
Oh yeah, that's true. Like the Stranger's rifle evolved, and the swords evolved. You could turn them into exotics.
True,
Well-
I forgot about that. But I don't really see the Pokemon metaphor as much.
You don't think so?
I don't know. It's just like you don't have any connection with your guns. It's more like,
Yeah.
oh look, I finally got the one gun I was grinding for. Every other gun doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, you don't do that in Pokemon. I mean,
Well,
you,
some people do. Some
you turn
people,
out your
even
team,
Some
but
people do.
some people were like, I have to use my icebreaker. Like, I don't care if I get a stronger gun, I'm going to use my
But
icebreaker.
Icebreaker is a stronger gun. It is the stronger gun that they.
Yeah, but no one gives a crap about a Zubat either.
I mean, I like Crobat's a pretty good Pokemon, man. You frontin'. It's the highest hypnosis user. You
yeah,
don't
he
know
is
shit.
fronting. He don't know nothing. Like, my favorite Pokemon are not the strongest ones.
Oh yeah, Umbreon's one of my favorites.
I have
it's-
trouble picking, like, keeping one of the 3 starters. Like, I do. And
Really?
yeah, like, I used the first, like, maybe 4 games I kept my starter, but after that point I was like, I love this so much more than my starter, or I love
feel
this
you.
so much more than this legendary. So I would pick pretty ones. So
Now, did you get Sun and Moon?
I got both of them, but I did not finish them. I'm a terrible person and I hate myself.
Well, no, it's a long and there's a lot of cutscenes in it, so I understand. But who was your favorite starter from that one? And did you stick with that one?
I chose Rowlet.
I chose Poplio, but I didn't get very far. Like, I literally have not barely played the game because I just haven't.
I feel you.
And I hate it
I
because
chose-
I've played every other game except for Black and
I'm
White.
surprised.
Yeah, I'm surprised in myself and I'm really disappointed, but you know.
I wish I could play the original one and the Ocarina of Time when I was younger. But that's really as far as
I
it
like
goes.
Link to the Past the best. It's on the Super Nintendo.
Right.
As I grew up with it, it's so much fun. It's got such good puzzles, and it's really where the Zelda series started. 1 and
Right.
2 were the start of it technically, but Link to the Past is where they started all the conventions of Zelda.
Right.
Like gather 3 things, get the Master Sword, go through dungeons. The first 2 were much more. They didn't have as much of a formula set before then.
Right.
But anyway, that's it. I'm just going off on a tangent.
No, you're fine. Oh, lore master. Yeah. So let's say, like, okay. So right now, if you're watching the video of this and not listening to it on SoundCloud, we are streaming a video game, and you're getting to experience this video game through us for free. So right now, every publisher has the right to do copyright, right? To copyright their games and not let you play them online. Like every single publisher has the right to do that, which is scary if your livelihood is based off of Let's Plays, right?
Right.
But I think it's crazy because everyone does it, and there's just kind of this unspoken bond or not bond, but agreement, because the publishers apparently make more money off of Let's Players playing their games and people going out and buying them. But I challenge that. I would say I know a lot of games personally. I know of a lot of games where I've said, I'm not going to buy that. I'm just going to watch this person play it.
Okay, but on the flip side of that, I've seen a lot of games where I've said I'm not going to buy it. I'm going to watch a person play it. I watched them, and I was like, you know what? I got to get this game. Like Prey. That's what. Like I watched Markiplier play Prey, and then I decided, you know what? This game looks really good.
That's the exact same example we were thinking.
Yeah, I was
the
about
opposite.
to use the opposite for that because I was gonna buy Prey, and then I watched Markiplier play it, and I was like, yeah, I had enough. I know
Yeah,
what it is.
Really?
We get
Yeah.
it.
See, I had the exact opposite reaction on that.
That's
funny.
crazy. See, that just proves to you how completely different that line of thinking is. Because I can see your side and his side. Because, you know, there's some games I'm like, oh, that looks really shitty. But I'll probably look up a couple Let's Plays of it just to see what the first, like, hour of it's like. Or maybe 30 minutes or whatever. And then I'm like, wow, this is fantastic. It's beautiful. I'm going to buy it. And that'll be my reaction to it. And then sometimes it's like, wow, this is absolute shit. And I'm glad I didn't spend the $70 on it.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think it's a good even.
Yeah.
I really
A lot of
do.
times I watch gameplays of games that I can't play because they're like on PC or something.
Oh yeah, like
Right.
you can't afford it at that
Oh
time.
yeah, like
or-
PUBG.
Oh yeah, I wish
yeah,
we could
yeah.
get
Well,
PUBG.
well, that's another example. That's a good example for me because without Let's Plays, I wouldn't know, and I wouldn't have seen it. But because of Let's Plays, as soon as it comes to console, I'm planning on
Yeah.
getting it.
you
know?
guys would have
Oh,
a
yeah. I think it's
blast
gonna be
playing
fun.
that.
Oh yeah, we should all get PUBG.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
yeah, I'm probably gonna get it. Funhouse makes it look pretty good. I know Adam.
I
doesn't
haven't
like
watched,
it much,
but I've only watched Adam and Bruce play it once.
yeah, I've watched Bruce play it a few times.
Yeah, they've played it a few times.
No, it's fun though. I mainly watch Julian,
Julian and Jenna,
Julian
and
and
then
Jenna
sometimes
play.
PewDiePie.
sometimes Pewds, but only when he's not spewing racial slurs.
Well, we watch the, we don't watch him stream it. We watch what he uploads.
Yeah, when he uploads it later.
So
So,
yeah, Jenna
yeah.
and Julian play it all the time, and it's hilarious.
I have okay. Let's see how much time we got. We got about 15 minutes left. So let me switch it up on you. Switch up the topics. Okay. So I was listening to the radio today. We got a new station, 1031. It is a it. You know that frequency is all over the nation, right? It's not just in one place.
Okay.
You just shot me a look. Anyways, and that song by Taylor Swift came on that I just love so much. That "Look What You Made Me Do" song. Have I talked about
God,
this
I
on
hate
the
that song
podcast?
so much.
Oh, I hate it, dude. It's terrible. So I was
Terrible
talking.
message, terrible sound. I just hate everything about it.
I was talking with one of my coworkers, and she said, "I hate the content of the song, but I love how it's put together. Like, I have an appreciation for the way that it's put together." And I'm like, no. I'm like, I disagree with you so
Do you
hard.
even know what you're saying?
Yeah, it's so
just doesn't
simple and
sound
dumb.
good.
That's like saying, I don't like the cake you made, but I like how you put it together.
Well, no, I understand what she's saying. What she's saying is like, I don't like
It's
the message.
popular, therefore
I-
she likes it, is what she's saying.
I don't know. I disagree with you.
I don't.
I think what she's saying is like, I don't like the message of the song or the words or like any of that stuff. But like, I really like just the music, the way the instruments work in it. Which I disagree with her. I think they're still terrible. But that's what I got out of what she said. Is like, I don't like what the song says, but I like listening to it. It is, for lack of a better word, aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, it's the, I guess,
Which I'm that way with a lot of rap music. Like, I'm like, I don't like what this is saying, but man, it's catchy, you know? And, but anyways, so my question to you is, what makes a bad song? Like, what makes a bad song bad, in your opinion?
And well, hang on a second. For me, I really hate whenever music just seems to do something because it's popular at that time, or because like it's a meme. Like Katy Perry's newest song, "Swish Swish Bish."
I've
is,
not heard that.
what?
It's so bad. It's just trying
Katy
to throw
Perry's
like
going-
a whole bunch of memes at you at once, trying to look like it's in the popular crowd, I guess, of today, and like it knows like internet culture, haha. But it just
Yeah.
comes off as super cringy, and I don't know, I don't like it.
Yeah, go ahead.
But I don't know, like it's hard for me to say like what's good music and what's bad music because I don't feel like I
Find
decide
taste.
that, especially for other people.
Right.
But I don't know. What about you? What do you say?
Well, I think it's a number of things. Like I said, there's things that you can like about a song and not like. Like, very rarely do I find a song where I'm like, I don't... It's kind of like movies, right? The people who critique movies, a lot of them say, I like movies. So even if I go see a bad movie, I'll find something about it that I like. It's very rare to just be like, this is a terrible... Like, there was nothing good about this movie. And I'm the same way with music. Like, I really like music, and most songs, I can find something that I like about them. Even if it's just like a simple, like, kick snare pattern or something in the background, I'll find something about it that's interesting in some way. And that new Taylor Swift song is one of those rare instances where, like, I just hate it so much. Like there's nothing about it that is good, in my opinion. Like, there's nothing about it that stands out. It's not different or unique in any way. It's just... It's just popular, yeah. And she's trying to be bad, but it's dumb. Like, she's like, I'm gonna write a mean tweet about you. Look what you made me do. I wrote a bad tweet. I'm such a bad girl. The good Taylor's dead. It's only the bad one now.
And see, that's the thing, is that the good Taylor's dead now that you got the bad one. But she's still trying to play up the good Christian girl Taylor, but being the bad version of that.
Right.
And so it just comes off as being super fucking lame.
Right. You know who rocks?
Teenagers.
You know who's a great musician? Missy fucking Elliott.
Yep.
Who's that?
You don't know who Missy Elliott is?
I'm horrible with names.
She's an older rapper, singer.
Oh my gosh. I've been listening to her
like
so much lately.
The early 2000s, Missy Elliott. I don't even know if she still makes music anymore, but this woman, she's just like a...
sounds familiar, but I can't think
let me think. Pass that Dutch. Get your freak on.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, Missy Elliott.
Got my ka-donk. Can you handle this ba-donk?
She's clever, and I don't know. I really enjoy her music. It makes me laugh. It makes me think sometimes, and I can understand most of the words. And I can't say that for most music now. I guess people just don't care if you can hear what they're saying. Not just in like their accent or like the way that they sing, but in the fact that the music is more important than the words now.
And well, I think Jibe will agree with me on this. After going through like, Chewy.
It doesn't matter.
But anyway, after going through, like a bit of a, not high school, college career in theater, we think about how we're saying stuff a lot and how wanting to project to enunciate. And so when I hear people talk a lot, especially in music, I hear those would yous, could yous, and I'm lucky if half the time I cannot understand what people are saying.
It's so funny that you say that, because every time I hear someone in a movie or a radio do the chew thing, he flips the fuck out.
I'm like, you're supposed to be a professional.
Right, thank you. And Sarah just looks at me like, Gavin, no one cares. I'm like, get back to it.
No, there's a song by Fall Out Boy where it's in the title of the song where it says, "My songs know what you did in the dark. My songs know what you did in the dark." And they go, "My songs know what you did," and they just chew it so freaking hard. And I'm like, oh, that's terrible.
He's trying to say it feels like at some point.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I wanted him dead.
You just tore up his butthole. Jeez.
It pisses me off so bad to hear would use and could use in the professional world.
Well, I don't necessarily care for pop music that much. I've been listening to it a little bit more lately because it's just different. Like, I work at these radio stations where it's like, oh, one of them's country, one of them's rock, and one of them's, R&B. And they're kind of timeless, so we just end up having the same library of music for like years, and I've been working there for like 6 years. And so after a while, you just want to hear something different. And the pop station kind of it kind of changes out more frequently. Like, it's like we'll have new music on there every month instead of like every
2 years.
Every 2 years we might get like a new song on these other stations.
Okay. I have a question. So I know when I go to one of y'all's theater productions or a theater production where they actually give a shit about the way they speak and their accents and stuff. And in particular, I guess just where we live, you hear accents so often that it doesn't feel unnatural to hear an accent when someone's speaking. It feels more unnatural to hear them speak perfectly. So when I would go to the theater productions and I would hear you or someone else perfectly enunciate certain words, like chew, it took me out of the moment. I'll be completely honest.
I disagree with you about the chews, but there have been times, and that comes down to directing, right? A lot of times that depends on the director, because there were times when we were doing a theatrical production, and I would say something, but I would say it where you could understand it, but I would say it like in a natural way, the way I think the character would say it or whatever.
Yeah.
But then the director would be like, no, you really need to enunciate that. So there were certain times when we would say a word or like a phrase, and it felt really unnatural. People would say it sounded really unnatural or whatever, but that's not your call. It's the director's call, so you just have to do it.
I think with music it would be the same way. Like with certain words, if they enunciated it would sound really weird.
Use and choose. I don't buy that with use and choose and choose.
I don't know. I think you can do it, but
I just did it.
I get what you're saying. You can do it, but I don't think it should be that way every time, because I'm thinking of certain. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but I can just, you can hear it, and you're like, would you?
You're playing.
I can't imagine someone enunciating the hell out of words during a song.
Well, like I said, I don't really notice things in media unless I can't understand them. The only thing that bothers me is the chews and Jews, because choose the Jews is in
Jews.
You know what I'm saying, like when you say would you, could you, that stuff.
But wouldn't you and couldn't you would sound so strange sometimes.
Wouldn't you like to go out to eat?
But
is that hard?
You just said chew and Jew again.
I know, she's trying to make an example of how it sounds
I don't know.
natural.
I guess I'll find a song
To me, I automatically hear the Jews and choose, and it grinds my gears when anyone does it. I don't know why, because it used to not, but I guess, I don't know, so much with Lee and Peppy, it just made me. But in my opinion, it's part that sometimes the director doesn't have the same vision as the actor,
right?
How it should be said. But sometimes it's that the actor isn't comfortable speaking properly yet, and they sound weird on stage as well.
Have you ever watched a movie and you can just see, like, kind of just tell how the interaction between the actor and the director went in a scene, and you just feel so bad for one of them? It's just like, they were not agreeing on this at all. Something was not right here.
Interestingly enough, I feel like Suicide Squad, we see the director fighting the producers a lot on screen.
Oh yeah, definitely. Suicide Squad. That's a fun bad movie. Like, it's it's just fun. It's fun to see how bad it is. Like, like I said, I don't hold a grudge against it. I like it. I think it's dumb. I don't really like anything in the past 7 years that Zack Snyder's done. He might have done one or two okay movies in the past, but since what is that called?
Signs?
No, that's M. Night Shyamalan.
I was just gonna say
Sucker Punch.
Okay, yeah.
Since Sucker Punch, he hasn't really done anything that. And I didn't like Sucker Punch. That was his.
I never watched Sucker Punch. It didn't seem like something I would really like that much anyway.
I was at someone's house and they watched it. It doesn't really make sense. There's 3 layers of worlds and they don't really
I think they could have really made that something.
Yeah.
They could have done it a little bit different. It would have been good, but, whatever. We watch a lot of movie reviews now, so that's you know.
Yeah.
I've got some to recommend to you if you get bored.
Okay.
Yeah. Come back. I don't want to waste this. I don't want to waste this moment. So, yeah, I will say one thing about bad music, though. I used to hate Pitbull. Like, I used to hate him with a passion. But then I saw DJ Khaled. And now I think Pitbull is an incredibly talented artist.
I still don't like Pitbull.
Like,
I can appreciate DJ Khaled on some level because he's at least like a weird, eccentric guy.
Mm-mm.
No, he's not.
Mm-mm.
How's he eccentric?
I want to be friends with you.
Show, and he was a what? Sarah says that DJ Khaled's real music is good. I've never heard any of his real music.
I haven't heard any of his real music.
And he was the weirdest motherfucker I'd ever seen in my life. He was just like talking about riding on a tiger, and like it was him and John.
Hey, Charlie Sheen said shit like that, and people put him down.
But not like that. Like they like animated him like riding on a tiger, like tripping out, like doing these weird things.
I will say the reason I say that is because I remember I used to hate Pitbull, and one time back when there was like Fuse, back when Fuse was actually good, they would do like concert series, and they would show they showed a Pitbull concert one time, and it was literally just him singing like just tiny verses to other people's songs, like just his little verse. So it would be someone else's song playing in the background, him dancing for like 3 minutes, and then he does his little verse, and then the song was over, and then they would change to a different song, and he would dance for another like 3 minutes on stage in front of thousands, millions of people.
Dance.
Yeah, and I was like, look at how stupid this guy is. But now I'm like, man, it must take a lot of talent to make those verses. He must like sit down with a notepad and like think about it.
For like 20 minutes at least.
Yeah, at least. DJ Khaled, he just walks down and goes, he's like,
Khaled.
We're so good, we got the best music. Alright, where's my check? Thanks, DJ Khaled. Bye.
Another one.
Give me another check. Like, what a piece of crap.
Apparently he's got his own music too, but I've never listened to it before.
Okay, I shouldn't say that until I listened to his music. I didn't know he had his own music because anything I've ever heard him in was just him saying his name and then other people singing.
And what gets me is that he is the main person on that song.
Yeah, like the Rihanna song, and like
it's like DJ
Khaled featuring Rihanna, and she sings the whole song.
Right,
he just comes in at the beginning. I'm like, what? No, stop.
See, here's
stop.
what we need to do. We need to take DJ Khaled and Jason Derulo, put them in a room together, and figure out which one of them's the fucking Ditto, because one of them's a Pokemon.
And
they say their name too much.
And 2 Chainz.
Jason Derulo.
Oh yeah, 2 Chainz.
That's a good reference. I'm gonna get you. Alright, so I think that's about all the time we got. Go end on a Pokemon Jason Derulo joke. It's good.
Sounds good to
That's
me.
good. Thanks for watching. If you're listening on SoundCloud, we have like 2 followers on SoundCloud. That's exciting, right? Like strangers. I don't know anyone on SoundCloud, so like strangers listen to us. That's crazy. We're like famous. That's great.
Thank God.
I'm like, guys, so great. I'm excited. So yeah, thank you for your support. In all honesty, like we really enjoy doing this, and you know, we were sad when our show about things ended because they kicked us out because we got done with college and we couldn't do our radio show anymore. So this is kind of,
I know, didn't that suck getting kicked out of college?
yeah,
Getting kicked out of doing something that was free that was helping them.
yeah,
Right.
So
yeah, I feel you.
I mean but you know that's kind of what this has devolved
It's like
into.
a therapy, I think.
Yeah, it is. It's fun to sit here and talk about
Shoot
things.
the shit and let out your feelings.
And shoot the baddies. And we aren't going to play Destiny 2 every single time.
Yeah, you played the same raid in the last 2. Or the same whatever it is.
Patrol.
Yeah.
Well, we were forced.
I know.
But in any case,
Yeah.
thanks, and your support means a lot. And
Follow us.
Follow us. Do the thing on whatever platform
Hit
you're
the
watching or
bell
listening.
wherever you are.
Yeah, and we'll see you in the next one. So y'all be good.
Bye, guys.
Peace.
Holla.